Here we are going to discuss the first important journey that Lord Ramchandra and his brother Lakshmanji they undertook with chat. Yeah, all right. They undertook with Vishwamitra ji. Okay. So before we begin, we seek the blessings of all the assembled devotees, Srila Prabhupada, Rishi Vishwamitra, because his journey was conducted under his supervision. We seek the blessings especially of Hanumanji, because we are discussing about Lord Ramchandra. So we desperately need the blessings of Hanumanji, Mother Sita, Lord Ramchandra's brother Lakshmanji, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ramchandra himself. So from here we begin our journey. So what I'll be doing is today I'm taking the first part of this session where Lord Ramchandra will go from Ayodhya to the river which whose name is Sonabhadra. All right, and the next session will be after he crosses Sonabhadra. That is the next part of his journey, which revolves around his marriage. So today we will discuss the first part of the journey. I will show every route and the place in the map on Google Map, and then I'll show the photos related to that place, and we'll do brief discussion. Also see reference from Valmiki Ramayana, and we can take up any questions if you have. So this journey that we are tracing here, we have these places have been discovered. Few places are very famous. Some of them which are not so famous, they have been discovered after almost during period of 40 years of research by the authoritative people. They belong to Sri Ram Sanskriti Shodha Sansthan. So they have discovered these places. So I have covered these places in sequence and traced them on Google Map. Let me first show you the Google Map. Is this world map visible to you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, right. So here you see the world map, and okay, let me open my marker also. So here you see on the map of India, this is what we see, this place. I'll zoom and show everything in detail. So this journey that Lord Ramchandra undertook with Vishwamitra Rishi, it covers two states in India and part of Nepal, primarily Uttar Pradesh, then Bihar. From Uttar Pradesh to Bihar, and from Bihar we go to Nepal. Then from Nepal we come back to Bihar, and then we come back to Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh. So let me zoom it here. Before we begin, we'll have some overall idea. Yeah, so you can see here that this portion is in Uttar Pradesh, this is roughly in Bihar, and we are also covering part of Nepal. Because Sita Devi, the palace was in Nepal and the marriage happened in Nepal. That is called Janakpur. All right. So here we have these things. Fine. So let me zoom it a little bit more. Now what you see here, this is roughly the route that Lord Ramchandra covered. Roughly this is the route. Now why I'm saying roughly, because this Leela happened in Treta Yuga, and it is not possible to trace each and every footstep that he took. Now the lines that you see here, these lines are according to the current route available in Google Map, the current walking route in Google Map. That definitely or may not be the exact route that Lord Ramchandra must have undertaken. But roughly, more or less, this should remain same. Okay, is this clear?
Yes.
All right. So now let's begin. Now, where is this discussed? So this journey of Lord Ramchandra with Vishwamitra Muni is discussed in the Bal Kanda of Ramayana. Like in Bhagavatam we have canto, in Ramayana we have kanda. So this is Bal Kanda, the first kanda, the first, or you can say canto of Valmiki Ramayana, and the journey actually begins from chapter 22 onwards. There is some chat message. Are we recording? Yes, we are recording, but I doubt whether I'll be able to provide the recording because this is a little bit work in development. So as of now, I don't think I'll be able to provide the recording. All right. Yeah. So yeah, you can take notes, no problem. And if you have any doubt later, you can send me a message on WhatsApp anytime. Okay. So for certain reasons, I won't be able to provide the recording of this session. Okay, so in Valmiki Ramayana, we were discussing, this is from chapter 22 onwards in Balkanda. And in Ramcharitmanas, the discussion is comparatively in brief. You know, in India, Ramcharitmanas is very popular. This was written by Goswami Sri Tulsi Das ji. So there, like in Ramayana, we have these verses. Actually, in Ramayana, the chapter is known as Sarga. Okay, that's the Sanskrit name. And in Ramcharitmanas, the verses are called Doha. There is Doha and there is Chaupai. So this is from Doha 208 onwards, the discussion is there. Now what we will be doing, our first evidence for whatever we discussed, first priority, our evidence should be Valmiki Ramayana. If not, then we try to find from Ramcharitmanas. If not, then we rely on folk, the what we call Lok Katha. Lok Katha means majority of the people what they say in that particular place about that place. That is our third level. First level is Valmiki Ramayana, second is Ramcharitmanas, and the third is called Lok Katha. What we can say like folk tale. Okay. So now we are at the first place from where Lord Ramchandra begins his journey. This is Dasarath Mahal, the palace of. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Please keep it on mute. If you have any question or comment, you can unmute and ask. So this is the palace. We are at the palace of King Dasarath. This is the place from where the journey will begin. So Vishwamitra ji has arrived here. I am not discussing the Leelas in detail because that is not the topic of this session. You can refer to Ramayana and read in detail. So Vishwamitra ji has arrived here and he wants Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman ji to come with him because there are a lot of demons who are attacking who are trying to destroy the sacrificial arena of Vishwamitra ji and the other sages. So he wants Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman ji to kill the demons there and protect the sacrifice. So King Dasharath is initially reluctant, but later he agrees. Now, what is this chapter 5 to 7? These chapters 5 to 7, they describe the opulence of Ayodhya. Opulence of Ayodhya, then about the citizens of Ayodhya, and then about the ministers of Ayodhya. So there is detailed description about how opulent and vibrant city was Ayodhya. And then there are many other references throughout Ramayana. So the first thing what we will do is let's go to our map and start our journey there from Dashrath Mahal. So let me select this Dashrath Mahal here. What you see here, this location is Dashrath Mahal. These markers are visible, no? What I am marking?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay,
Yes,
thank
Prabhuji.
you. Yeah, thank you. So let me zoom in and show this place. And then we'll see the photos also. So this is very, very popular, very famous place, pilgrimage in Ayodhya. This is Dashrath Mahal. Mahal means palace. All right, so these locations are mentioned here. You can see this. And in Ayodhya, there are innumerable places of pilgrimage. we are only covering the important stoppages on the journey. We are not having a Ayodhya Darshan. That is not our subject here. So you can see there is Dasharath Mahal, Dasharath Bhavan. There is a Hanuman Mandir here. So first on Google Map, let's see some photos of Dasharath Mahal, and then I'll also show you a lot of other photos, those which are not available on Google Map. So this is in Hindi, this is written Shri Chakravarti Maharaj Dasharath Ji Ka Raj Mahal. So this is the palace. All right. And you can see, have a look at some other views also inside and outside the palace. Here there are deities inside, and I'll show you photos of deities also. Okay, so these were some pics from Google. Now let's see here. So here you can see Lord Ramchandra, Lakshman and Sita ji. These deities are inside Dasharath Mahal. This is a close-up view of those deities. Okay, these are other deities in the same palace. Yeah. So now from Dasharath Mahal, you know, in Ayodhya, the river is called Sarayu. So the journey that Lord Ramchandra undertook with Vishwamitra ji, this journey was walking along the banks of river Sarayu. So this river that we see in the photo here, this is Sarayu river. Now the course of river has changed, but they were walking along the banks of the river, and we will also, our journey will also be along the banks of same river, and we'll try to locate those places, see their pictures and have some discussion. Okay. Anybody has any question or any comment till now?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Right. So now we come to our second stop from Dasharath Mahal. This place is known as Makhauda. Okay. This place is known as Makhauda. Have you heard this verse? Tretayam yajato makhai dwapare paricharyayam kalautad dhari kirtanat.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, very good. So Tretayam yajato makhai. What was the Yuga Dharma in Treta Yuga? Yajna,
Sacrifice.
sacrifice. So Makha, the word Makha means sacrifice. In Bhagavatam, if you check in Veda base, you will see many times the word Makha. Like Yudhishthir Maharaj was conducting sacrifice. So there the word used is Makha. So Makha is sacrifice. All right. In Ayodhya, the language that is used for speaking, that is called Awadhi language, Awadhi Bhasha.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
in Ram Raksha also there is.
Yeah, correct. Very good. So there the language is called Awadhi Bhasha. So in Awadhi Bhasha also there is this word Makha. All right. So now from Dasharath Mahal, we will move on to Makhauda Dham. Right. Now let me first zoom out and let's have an overview from where we are going to which other place. Yeah. So you can see here, we were at this place, Dasharath Mahal, and now we are going to Makhauda Dham. This is our route. From Dasharath Mahal, we are going to Makhauda Dham. You understand the meaning of the word Dham, na? Dham pilgrimage, like Vrindavan Dham, Navadvip Dham. Okay. So now let me zoom into Makhauda Dham. And we will discuss, this is a important place, extremely important, Makhauda Dham. All right. Now, the relevance of the Makhauda Dham, this is discussed in Balkand chapters 8 to 14. Chapter 8 to 14. What is the relevance of this Makhauda Dham? Those of you who have heard or studied about Ramayana, you know that King Dasharath, he arranged for a Putreshti Yagna because he wanted son. So Putreshti, desire for Putra. So the Putreshti Yagna was performed in this place, Makhauda Dham. Okay, so Putreshti Yagna was performed by which rishi? Anybody can answer?
Shringa.
Rishi Shringa, exactly. So Rishi Shringa performed the Putreshti Yagna at this particular place. So this is called Makhoda Dham. Another importance of this place is like we have Vrindavan Parikrama, there is also Ayodhya Parikrama. So the Ayodhya Parikrama begins from this place, Putreshti Yagna. This Putreshti Yagna Sthali. This place is known as Putreshti Yagna Sthal. Okay.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhu.
I see 84 crosha. So
Yeah.
what is 1 crosha? I have a question.
Yeah, good question. I also have to check out what is exactly the kilometer equivalent of 1 crosha. I can check and tell you. Huh? Okay, bro. Right. So now this is a milestone you see here, Makhoda. This is now the photo that you are seeing. This is the place of Putreshti Yagna. This is the place where the Putreshti Yagna was performed by Rishi Shringa in Makhoda Dham. All right, this was the place of sacrifice, and this is at the bank of Sarayu River. Okay, those who can read the Devanagari script, you can see this mentioned Sarayu River. This area is known as Basti. This is the district, Basti district. This U and province Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Yes. So this is the place, the sthal for Putreshti Yagna. And this place is very famous for performing sacrifices. Every year a Ram Yagna is done here, and many people come here. Here you can see what is written. Shri, it's not visible very clearly, it's engraved on stone. Shri Makhasthan. Shri Makhasthan. This is Vaishak Purnima. Huh? Shri Makhasthan. So let's move ahead. Yeah, these are some other photos in that place. So you can have darshan of these pilgrimages here. There is also temple here that is called Ram Janki Mandir. And these are the deities in the temple. Lord Ramchandra, Lakshman and Sita ji. This is in Ram Janki Mandir in Makhoda. This is the close-up view. Okay, the photos are clearly visible.
Yes, Prabhuji, it's visible.
Okay, yeah, good. Right. So here you can see what is mentioned in Hindi, Shri Makhoda Dham, Shri Ram Mahayagna. So every year the yagna is done. This is a photo of the notice board that was in 2012 in Ram Janki Mandir, Makhoda. All right. So let's move ahead and let's see some other photos on the Google map also in Makhoda. Yeah. So you can see here it is mentioned Putreshti Yagna Sthal. Putreshti Yagna Sthal. Yagna Sthal. Sthal means the place, the location for Putreshti Yagna. This is the entrance. I already showed you the photos earlier. The Yagya Sthali. Some other pics in that place. Okay. So let's move ahead from Makhoda Dham. Now we will see 7 places. These 7 places or 7 pilgrimages are not directly mentioned by name in Valmiki Ramayana, but these, if you consult verses 11 to 14, these places can be located based on these verses and also with the help of Lok Katha. So you can refer to this. This is Balkanda chapter or Sarga 22 verses 11 to 24 in 22nd chapter. So I'm also just opening that. Let me see if there are some relevant verses, 1 or 2 that I can say. So in verse number 11 is very relevant. When Lord Ramchandra started walking and they were moving ahead, Vishwamitra uttered the sweet sound Ram. He took the name of Ram and he told Lord Ramchandra that perform Achaman here. You understand Achaman like we do Achaman in deity worship. So he told Lord Ramchandra to perform Achaman immediately because Vishwamitra ji, he wanted to give the knowledge of Bala and Ati Bala Shakti to Lord Ramchandra. These are very special powers. They are called Bala and Ati Bala. That's how they have been mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana. Balam Ati Balam Tatha. So this knowledge were given by mantras, by chanting mantra. So let's see where this Achaman was done. Let's come to that place. Now we are in the third place, Shringi Ashram, and it is said that this is the place where Lord Ramchandra performed the Achaman before getting the knowledge of Bala and Atibala, the powers. And this is the place where he got those powers from Rishi Vishwamitra. So they were walking along the banks of Saryu River, and as I told earlier, the course of the river has obviously changed. Now, what is this Shringi Ashram? The Shringi Ashram is the place where Dasharath Maharaj gave residence or place for Shringi Rishi and Ma Shanta to reside. Okay, when they had arrived in Ayodhya to perform the Putreshti Yagna, the Shringi Ashram is the place where they took up residence, where they started residing. So first let's go to the map. Okay, locate Shringi Ashram. Then we'll see photos and have some discussion. Okay. Right. So you can see here, we were at Makhoda Dham and this is Shringi Ashram. This is the path from Makhoda Dham to Shringi Ashram. Okay. Let me now zoom it. So this is your Shringi Ashram, this one. Right. So let's see the photos and have some brief discussion. So Rishi Shringi and Shanta Devi, their caves are still present here. Anybody knows who is Shanta? Sorry?
The sister of Lord Ram.
Yeah, correct. Sister of Lord Ramchandra, daughter of Dasharath Maharaj. So Shanta married to Shringi Rishi and they arrived here. They took up residence here and then they went for Putreshti Yagna. Now let's see the pictures of this place. These photos are in and around the Shringi Ashram. So now only see it is looking so much in Sattva-guna, very serene place. We can imagine. We can't even imagine how peaceful and how much in mode of goodness these places would have been during Treta Yuga. So these are some temple in Shringi Ashram. This is Ma Shanta temple. So what is written in Hindi here? Jai Ma Shanta. So I'll tell you what is written in Hindi here. राजा दशरथ के मनो की मनोकामना पूर्ण करने वाले बाबा श्रृंगी ऋषि की जय. That means all glories to Rishi Shringi who fulfilled the desire of King Dasharath. This is Shringi Ashram. This place, there is a ghat here. You understand ghat? Beside the river there is ghat, bank. So this is known. This ghat here is known as Sherava Ghat on the bank of Saryu River. And this is Faizabad. We are in Faizabad district in Uttar Pradesh. Yeah, so this is the entrance to Ma Shanta temple. It's kind of a cave where she was living. You can see this photo is inside the cave where she was living here. Still many people from various areas, they come here to worship her. So here, Lord Ramchandra, Lakshmanji and Vishwamitra Rishi, they rested at night in this place, Shringi Ashram. Now, there is no evidence in Valmiki Ramayana that Lord Ramchandra met Shringi Rishi personally in this place when he started his journey. But it is, but all the people there, they confirm that he definitely went from here. So this reference is in Valmiki Ramayana, Balkand chapter 22, and the verse number is 23 to 24. So Lord Ramchandra, he served Vishwamitra Rishi. Okay, he massaged his feet, he served the Guru, and then they all rested. So I'll just read the translation of text 23 and 24. This is text 23. Having carried out his duties to his Guru, the son of Kushika, the three happily stayed there on the banks of Sarayu that night. Although there were no proper arrangements for them to stay, but they happily stayed there. To Ram and Lakshman, the best of Dasharath's princes, despite their sleep on an inappropriate bed of grass, being entertained by the words of the son of Kushika. The son of Kushika is Vishwamitra Ji. In Ramayana, you can read about his whole dynasty. Their night appeared pleasant. Okay. So now what we see in this photo is how the river Saryu has changed its course after Shringi Ashram. And here you can see a very small branch of the river, or what we can also call like rivulet. Is a very small branch of the original course of Saryu. This small one is the original Saryu. Local people there, they call it Choti Saryu, small Saryu, or they also say Purani Saryu. Purani means old, the old Saryu branch here. Now we come to our fourth stoppage. This is Bhairav Baba Mandir, Bhairav Baba temple. Okay, so let's go to the map. So who is Bhairav Baba? Any guess who will be Bhairav? Anybody? Who can be Bhairav?
Shivji?
Yeah, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is Bhairav. Correct. You're right. So we were at Shringi Ashram. Let me just show you again. This is Shringi Ashram. And here, from here we come to Bhairav Baba temple. Shringi Ashram to this is Bhairav Baba temple. So I just want to repeat again that the routes, the blue color lines, the routes that we see, these may have been little different, definitely. Okay. So there is no point wondering too much that whether they crossed like this or they went from which side. We don't have to worry too much about that. And it's impossible actually to locate each and every footstep. So from Shringi Ashram, we come to Bhairav Baba temple. This is Lord Shiva temple, and we'll discuss about this. So you can see this here. This is Bhairav Baba Mandir. So this place is full of temples everywhere in Ayodhya. Temple and temple and temple everywhere. This one. Yeah. So now let's come to this one. Now the relevance of this place is Lord Ramchandra, Lakshman and Vishwamitra Ji, they rested at night here in Bhairav Baba temple, in this Lord Shiva temple. Now, before we move ahead, there is one thing that we have to be clear. If you trace the journey of Lord Ram, we will find there will be too many temples of Lord Shiva that Lord Ramchandra visited. And almost everywhere, the people, the local people, they will tell there that here Lord Ramchandra worshipped Lord Shiva. But there is no evidence in the scripture that he worshipped Lord Shiva in every temple. Okay. But he must definitely at least have given respect to Lord Shiva. So now in India, this becomes a big controversial point that Lord Ramchandra is worshipping Lord Shiva. Lord Ramchandra is respecting Lord Shiva. So Supreme Personality of Godhead respects every living entity. Just because Supreme Personality of Godhead folds hands in front of anybody, or even if our spiritual master folds hand in front of us, that does not mean that we become superior. That is a mark of etiquette and respect. All right. Second point is that when Lord Ramchandra is praying or worshipping to Lord Shiva, and we don't see the deity responding, so people start thinking that Lord Shiva is Supreme Personality of Godhead in a higher position than Lord Ramchandra. But the fact that is established in scriptures, and there are many places in Padma Puran where Lord Shiva is glorifying Lord Ramchandra, Lord Krishna. So it is clearly established that Lord Shiva is especially a devotee of Lord Ramchandra. And even if sometimes we see Lord Ramchandra is taking darshan of some temple, Devi Durga or any other demigod in any temple, actually the fact is that the god, the demigod and goddess, they are being blessed by Lord Ramchandra by getting his darshan. Okay, although to externalize it may see that Lord Ramchandra is taking their darshan, but actually they are getting Lord's darshan. So this is the Vaishnava point of view from which we have to understand. So this is the photo what we are seeing. This is a Bhairav Baba temple, Bhairav Mandir. So we are in this place. This is called Maharajganj. This is Azamgarh district in Uttar Pradesh. This is the entrance to the temple. There is this deity of Lord Shiva outside the temple, and inside here what we see, this is Bhairav Baba, Lord Shiva in the form of Bhairav Baba. You can see here. So they rested there at night, and next day they took bath in this particular pond early in the morning, and then from here they proceeded to the next place. The next place that we arrive, the fifth stop, this is called Salona Tal, and Lord Ramchandra arrived here by afternoon, around noon time. They left Bhairav Baba temple in morning and they arrived here in the afternoon. So let's go to the map and locate Salona Tal. Anybody can tell what can guess what can be this Tal?
Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhu.
is it anything has to do like with the metronome beats or like the lock? A lock?
Sorry, Prabhu. Not clear. What are you asking?
I mean, so like you know about like the metronome beats, right, Prabhuji? Or the lock? Is it related to either of those, or is it something else?
Are you talking about this word Tal?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, this Tal is the short name for Talab. In Hindi we say Talab. Talab means lake or pond. All right. So from Talab, this has become Tal. So from Bhairav Baba temple, we are coming to Salona Tal. Tal stands for Talab. Okay, bro, is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You can see here the blue color in the map. This is the water body, Salona Tal, and we'll see what is the relevance of this Salona Tal. Okay, so let's come here. So in this Salona Tal, this was an extremely clear water body that time, and it is believed that this water was used for giving drinking water and for preparing the prasadam for Lord Ramchandra, Lakshman and Vishwamitra ji. So in afternoon, in this place, they took lunch prasad and they also took rest here for some time. And because it gets water from Saryu, this lake is also known as Saryu ka beta, son of Saryu. That's how it is known. So here you can see the pictures of Salona Tal. So it was crystal clear, absolutely pure that time. So we are in this Ajmatgarh, in Azamgarh district. So you can see in Hindi it is written Salona Tal. Okay. Yes. Any comment? Any question? Everyone are you comfortable with this presentation? It's not like a lecture, it's a presentation.
Okay, yes, Prabhuji.
Children are comfortable, they are enjoying or no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we were, okay, so we were at which place? Who can name? What was the last place?
Salona Tal.
Salona Tal. Yeah, very good. Salona Tal. So from Salona Tal, we come to our next temple on the route. This is called Bara Dwariya Mandir. So what is Bara? What is the meaning of Bara?
12.
12. And what is Dwar?
Gates.
Dwar is gate. Yeah, exactly, correct. Dwar is door or gate. So we are at a temple of Lord Shiva, where there are 12 gates in this temple. So let's first go to the map. This is a 12-gate temple. So from Salona Tal, we will come to Bara Duwaria temple. All right. Yeah. So you can see here, this is Salona Tal. And from here, Lord Ramchandra comes to this Bara Duwaria Shiv Mandir. This is a temple of Lord Shiva. Okay. Now let me zoom in here at this temple. Yeah. So you can see here this Bara Duwaria Shiv Mandir. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go to our presentation. Is it not getting deleted? Yeah. So here you can see 3 gates. So 3 gates in each side. So total how many gates will be there?
12.
12. Yeah. So this is a 12-door temple. Bara Duwaria Mandir. Some other pictures in that place. It's a very popular temple in that region. So this is the deity of Lord Shiva in the temple. You can see the snake on his neck.
Yes.
And the Damaru on his hand. And in one hand we have the Trishul. Yeah. So this was Bara Duwaria temple. Now we come to the next stop. Lord Ramchandra visits. This is called Ram Ghat. Ghat is on the bank of the river. So it is believed that this is the place from where they must have crossed the river. This is important. This is Ram Ghat. So let's go to the map and try to find out Ram Ghat. Yes. So we were at Bara Duwaria, the 12th-gate temple of Lord Shiva. And from here we come to Ram Ghat. This is the route that Lord Ramchandra is following, roughly. Now this Ram Ghat is in a place which is currently known as Eidgah Road. Eidgah Road. So there must be some mosque here nearby, definitely. That's why it is known as Eidgah Road. And here you can also see what is mentioned, this Tamasa Nadi.
Prabhuji?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Actually, this Ramghat is actually near the Tamasa Nadi, and the Tamasa Nadi was where Valmiki was bathing, and then a Kroncha bird got shot by a hunter, and then Brahma came
yeah.
here.
So see, one thing what I have to clear here. Now this is the location on the Google map. Now the actual location may have been at a little bit different place also. That may be possible for each and every location. All right, because the rivers also, they change their course. Okay,
I mean at this place.
Sorry?
I mean at this place.
Yeah, so what I want to tell, what you see Tamsa Nadi right now here, in that time, was it exactly at this spot? It is difficult to tell. Okay, yeah.
But I mean in this one.
Okay, so here you can see Ram Ghat. So some other places inside that particular location, Ghat. Yeah, so what is written here is Sati Sthan. I did not get any information. What is the relevance of this structure Sati Sthan? Although the word Ram Ghat is clearly written here. So this is the unfortunate situation. You can see, means these most important pilgrimages. You see currently what is the condition of these places. So that is most unfortunate. So we have very flashy malls and buildings and everything. And what is the condition of our pilgrimages? You can see here. Yes, so this is the ghat from where it is believed that Lord Ramchandra must have crossed the river. Okay. Right. So we move on to our next place, and this place is known as Sidaghar Ghat. Let's go to the map and Then we will discuss about it. Can you find any word that sounds similar like Sida? Sida, what can sound similar to Sida?
Siddhas.
Siddha, yeah, correct, Siddha. So this Siddhagar Ghat, this was known as the place of Siddhas. Yes. Now there is a bridge here. So this place in Google is located as Siddhagar Ghat Bridge. It's an important bridge there. Of course, that time there was no bridge here. You can also see the place mentioned here, Siddhagar. So Siddhagar or Siddhagar, different ways of pronouncing. Yes. So from Ram Ghat, we come to Siddhagar Ghat here. And let's zoom inside. Yes. So this is Siddhagar Ghat here, what we see. Now let's go back and see some photos. So it is said that here Vishwamitra ji met many sages, many Siddha Purushas in this place. This is a place that is marking the direction to go to Siddhagar Ghat on the road. This is Siddhagar Ghat, Saryu River. This place in Uttar Pradesh is Gajipur, in Gajipur district, Siddhagar Ghat. Now there are some rivers here where there is a lot of sand on the banks, and a lot of illegal sand smuggling and all these things, they still happen in these places. So this is Siddhagar Ghat. Now we move on to the next stop, the 9th stop. The temple here is known as Lakhaneshwar Diha. So what can be the meaning of Lakhaneshwar? How do we derive the?
Lakshman.
Lakshman.
Yeah, so Lakhan is Lakshman, and then what is Lakhaneshwar?
Ram.
Yeah, correct. So Lakhaneshwar is Ram, and here we will discuss what is the relevance of Lakhaneshwar. So Siddhagar Ghat to Lakhaneshwar temple. This is our route. This is how we are moving. Lakhaneshwar temple here. Okay, so let's move inside. Yes. So there is a Lakhaneshwar temple, and as I told you, nearby there are many temples. We see one more temple here. There is Vishnu Bhagavan Mandir. Okay, so let's see Lakhaneshwar temple. Now, Lakhaneshwar, the Lord of Lakshmanji is definitely Lord Ram, but it is believed here that Lakshmanji, he had worshipped a Shivalinga here. And after he worshipped the Shivalinga, for many years, the worship of the Shivalinga continued. But then it stopped and the place got dilapidated, got destroyed. So right now there is just a Tila. Tila is like a mound, some round mound here that we will see in the photo. And the Shivalinga which he had worshipped, it was recovered. And there is a mysterious story behind that. We will discuss that. So here you can see this is Lakhaneshwar temple here. And this is the Dih. It's called Tila. Dih. This is a round place. There is no proper temple as such here. So what happened here is actually there was a sage some time back, and he in his dream he saw this Shivalinga, and in dream he was told that there is a pond here and the Shivalinga is inside that pond, so you should go and find the Shivalinga. So he woke up and he went through the jungle and he located this place. He gathered the nearby people, and with everyone's help they cleared up the pond and they found the Shivalinga there, as he had seen in the dream. Along with Shivalinga, they also found a deity of Lord Vishnu and couple of other deities also. We will see that deity also. Now the nearby king of that place, he arrived there, he got the news, and he wanted to take this Shivalinga and install the Shivalinga in his temple. He tried a lot and he brought many people, but the Shivalinga did not move even an inch from that place. It was firmly in that place only. So the king understood that Lord Shiva doesn't want to move from here. He gave up trying to move the Shivalinga, and he constructed some mound kind of structure here that is called this Lakhaneshwar Dih. Okay, so this is the Shivalinga, in that pond. Okay, and this is the Lakhaneshwar temple there. And now is the deity that we see. This is the deity of Lord Shiva. This deity was also found in the same pond only where the Shivalinga was found. So let's have some close-up view of deity. Acha, before that, in the temple, the practice is that first Lord Vishnu is worshipped and then Lord Shiva is worshipped in this same temple. Hmm. So this is a close-up view. You can see very beautiful deity of Lord Vishnu. This is in Lakhaneshwar temple. Okay, everyone can see this visible na clearly?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So any doubt, any question, any comments, any clarification till here?
Prabhuji.
Okay, so let's move ahead. Now we come to another one more Ram Ghat here. There are many Ram Ghats on the journey of Lord Ram. Okay, whenever he took bath or anything at the bank of the river, and people named that place Ram Ghat. So there are innumerable Ram Ghat. Now this Ram Ghat reference we find in Valmiki Ramayana Balkanda chapter 23 verse number 5 to 6. So I am reading the translation here. These two powerful ones departed from there with Vishwamitra, and they saw the divine river Ganga. This place is the confluence of Ganga and Saryu, and that is mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana in this particular verse. Verse number 5 is the confluence of Ganga and Saryu. That time it was like that. So here Lord Ramchandra, he spotted a pious ashram, an ashram spot there of sages of terrible austerity. He saw there is an ashram and there are many sages. They are doing some tremendous austerity here, and they have been doing this austerity for several years in this place, Ram Ghat, that we see here in the photo. So let's go to the map, locate it, and then come back. So from Lakhaneshwar, we are moving to Ram Ghat. Yes. So we were here, sorry, not here. We were in Lakhaneshwar temple, and now from here we come to Ram Ghat. Okay. Yes. So we are at this place. Right, so let's move back. This is the place, Ram Ghat, where Lord Ramchandra spotted an ashram and some sages were performing austerity there. The references which I have been giving, if you want to read more, you can go through those references and read much more in detail. Yeah, so that was Ram Ghat. Now we come to a very important place of pilgrimage in this journey. This is called Kameshwar Mandir. Let's first see in the map and then we will discuss. This has been explained in detail in Valmiki Ramayana. Okay. So we were at Ram Ghat and now we come to Kameshwar temple. This place where we have the Kameshwar temple, this place is known as Karo Dham. Karo, K-A-R-O, Karo Dham. And the area, that district, that is called Balia. So we will discuss what is this Karo Dham and what is the logic behind the name Karo. So here you can see Shriv Mandir Karo Balia, correct? And nearby you can also see one Kameshwar Nath Mandir, Kameshwar temple. So this is what we will discuss. Lord Shiva had come here and there is extensive explanation in Valmiki Ramayana. Okay. So what happened here actually? Let me show some photos and then it will be clear. So we know that Daksha Prajapati, he had conducted a yajna and Lord Shiva was not invited. Sati, his daughter, she went there to the yajna. She found that Daksha has not kept any share for Lord Shiva. Sati was very angry. she gave up her body. Then Lord Shiva arrived, and Lord Shiva was also furious. Lots of things happened that you can read in Bhagavatam. Now Lord Shiva, he was carrying the body of Sati, and he was roaming through different places. So he appeared to be very much disturbed. So when Lord Shiva was carrying the body of Sati, different parts of the body of Sati fell at different places in India, and every place where one part fell, that became known as Shakti Peeth. So there, like this, there are many Shakti Peethas in India, and they are very popular. People go there with all kinds of material desires in different Peethas. Like there is one called Kamakhya. It is extremely famous temple in India. So one part of Sati's body was falling down, and when the body fell down completely, Lord Shiva sat in very deep meditation. The place where Lord Shiva was meditating is this temple where we are currently. This is Kameshwar Nath temple. Lord Shiva was meditating here. All right. This was the place where Lord Shiva himself was meditating. Now, when Lord Shiva was meditating, okay, you can see here this temple here. This is Kameshwar Nath temple. Lord Shiva was in deep meditation in this place. Kameshwar Dham, Karo. We will come to this. What is this Karo logic? So this Tadkasur, he took the opportunity that Lord Shiva is in deep meditation, and Tadkasur started creating lot of trouble everywhere, all over the universe. The demigods, they became disturbed. They approached Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu told Kamadev, you go and break the meditation of Lord Shiva. So Kamadev goes there. He breaks meditation of Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva opens his third eye and he burns Kamadev's body. The place where Kamadev's body got burnt, remember Lord Shiva was performing meditation in this place. The place where Kamadev's body got burnt is this place, where what you see now in photo, and this place is known as Kandarpa Shila. One of the names of Kamadev is Kandarpa. This is Kandarpa Shila. And there is a mango tree here. It symbolizes the burnt body of Kamadev. This mango tree, what you see here, this is half burnt and half dry. Okay, so Kamadev's body got burnt here, and his wife Sati was crying. Okay, because now Kamadev is not there. Kamadev is dead. So she prayed to Lord Shiva. Okay, please give him life. Lord Shiva blessed him that okay, he will be alive, but he will live without a body. From that time, Kamadev's started to be known as Ananga. Can you tell what can be the meaning of Ananga? How do you derive the meaning of Ananga? Anybody?
One without body.
Anga is body. So Ananga is without body. So Kamadev is living here without body. Now because Rati was crying in separation of Kamadev, his Ka stands for Kama and Ro stands for Roi or Rona, like we say in Hindi. Rona, okay, Roi means to cry. So from here comes the name Karo. Ka is Kama and Ro is Rona, means to cry. So Rati was crying here because Kamadev was dead. So this place is known as Karo Dham. This is in Balia, what you see here. Is this clear to everyone? The logic of Karo Dham, the meaning of Karo, how it is connected with Lord Shiva and Kamadev.
Yes.
Okay, now you must have heard many times that this pastime happened in Kailash in Himalaya. So our Acharyas comment that must have been in a different day of Lord Brahma. This was in a different day of Lord Brahma at this place, Kameshwar Nath temple, what we see here. So this is Shri Kameshwar Dham Karo. All right, this is Shivlinga inside Kameshwar Nath temple. Okay, so now just a minute. Yeah. So this reference is in Valmiki Ramayana, chapter 23, verse number 9 to 21. Now, when Lord Ramchandra arrived at this place, he noticed there was a very pious ashram. I am just briefly reading from Valmiki Ramayana. Noticing that pious ashram with extreme happiness, the two descendants of Raghu who knew dharma, spoke the following words to the great soul Vishwamitra, the powerful sage, whose wealth was austerity out of curiosity. So now what does Lord Ramchandra ask about this place, this Karodham? So he asks Vishwamitra, whose is that pious ashram? Who resides there? O Lord, we are eager to hear, for we are greatly curious. So in response to Lord Ramchandra's question, Vishwamitra ji, he explains this lila in connection with Kamadev and Lord Shiva. So that we can read later. I have given the references here. And now we will move on to our next pilgrimage, next stop. This is called Marchi and Sujayat. Marchi and Sujayat. Any guess what can be this Sujayat? In Hindi, these names which change, in Hindi they are called, in Sanskrit they are called Apabhrangsha. Apabhrangsha means the name changes. People start changing the original name and it comes to be known as something else only. So let's see this Sujayat and Marchi. This is Sujayat and Marchi, and we were at Karodham. So from Karodham, Lord comes here to, these are two villages. They are called Sujayat and Marchi. They are names of two villages there. Okay. And two very great personalities, they lived here. Any guess who may be those two great personalities?
Subahu.
Subahu.
Yeah, so famous or infamous, whatever. These two personalities,
And
Subahu
Marich.
and Marich, the two demons, they lived here. So Subahu's village was called Sujayat, or now it is called Sujayat, and Marich, his village was called Marchi, and they are just at 2 kilometer distance from each other. So yeah, so here this Sujayat, this is the home of the demon Subahu, and like we had seen the Lakhaneshwar Tila, here also there is a round mound, a Tila, that is called Subahu Dih. So first let's see that, and then we'll come back to this description. So this photo, what you see, this is Subahu Dih. This is where Subahu lived. There is, in Sanskrit we call it Tila. In Hindi this is Tila. Okay, round shaped mound kind of, you can see here. So this is in Sujayat place. Now because these demons were living here, many times now also when people do excavation, whether archaeological survey or anybody doing excavation, sometimes they have found some very, very big size and thick utensils. So they speculate these utensils might belong to those demons of those ages, because currently nobody uses those things. So that is in Sujayat, and 2 kilometers from here there is Marchi. Now these are the pictures of those places, Sujayat and Marchi. Yeah. So this is the Marchi village. The earlier photos were for Sujayat. These are for Marchi, the big demon Marich, who was thrown away and directly he was sent to Lanka. So it is said that when Marich was thrown away from here, from this place, when Marich left, all the people who were living here, they also left. Must have been his assistants, who knows. Right. So now from Sujayat and Marchi. Acha, till now, anybody has any doubt? Any comment, any question? Everyone,
No,
yeah, everyone is able to follow, na? Okay. So now we come to two more places, two villages. They are called Bharoli and Ujiyara. Bharoli. Now, Bharoli word, it comes from Bhor. In Hindi, Bhor means morning. And Ujiyara comes from Ujala. Ujala is sunlight. So morning and sunlight. Now these places, their reference is there, but on Google map, although I tried a lot, but I could not locate these two places, Bharoli and Ujiyara. But they are very famous, and definitely they are on the route of Lord Ramchandra's journey. But on Google map, I could not locate. So I'll just discuss from here. In Balkanda, the first verse of 24th chapter, the reference is there. So what happened? At sunrise early in the morning, after completing their early morning duties, those subduers of the enemies followed Vishwamitra and arrived at the bank of the river Ganga. So Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman ji, they were woken up very early by Vishwamitra ji that day, and Vishwamitra ji told them that we have to depart early in the morning. So morning, the place from where they departed, that was Bhor, early, very early morning, that came to be known as Bharoli. And when they were walking and sunrise happened and they got darshan of Surya Dev, that place came to be known as Ujiyara because there was Ujala or sunlight. So these are two nearby places called Bharoli and Ujiyara. Okay. So there is this very common maxim or phrase in their language. There they say, Bhor Bharoli Bhai Ujiyara, Baksar Jaye Tadka Mara. Okay, once again I'll speak. Bhor Bharoli Bhai Ujiyara, Baksar Jaye Tadka Mara. So Baksar is a place in Bihar where they are moving. They are going to place Baksar, and there they will kill the demoness whose name was, what was the name of that lady demoness?
Tadaka.
Tadaka, yeah. So here they say that early in the morning, Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman ji started and they went to Baksar and they killed Tadaka. Anybody can recite this maxim? Anybody can read this? What is this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
You want to read?
Yeah, please.
Bharoli Bhai Ujiyara, Buksar Jai Tadaka Mara.
Very good. But remember, this is not Buksar, this will be Baksar. Maybe I should have written with B-A. Pronunciation is Baksar, B-A. Ba. Huh? Okay, anyone else wants to speak this? This is very common in that village. Everybody speaks this.
Speak.
Bhor Bharoli Bhaya Ujiyara, Baksar Jaya Tadaka Mara.
Means Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman, Bhor in morning only they started. They went to Baksar and killed Tadka there. Okay. So anyway, these places in Treta Yug, their name was Malad and Karush. They were those areas. In there they call Janpad. Janpad means where the people lived. Malad and Karush. And these were the centers of these demons who were the assistants of Ravan. So here you can see the photos of Bharoli and Ujiyara. Very, very simple villages. I mean, in those times, what would have been the level of simplicity? It's beyond imagination. Okay, so now in this journey, we come to the most important place, that is Baksar. Why most important? Because the purpose for which Lord Ramchandra came on this journey. What was the purpose? Why did Lord Ramchandra come with Vishwamitra ji? What was the purpose?
To kill Marich and Subahu.
Yeah, exactly. So that killing of Marich and Subahu, those things they happened in this place Baksar. That is one reason. And this Baksar was the center place where Vishwamitra ji was performing his sacrifices. There were many, many sages here who were performing sacrifices. So this was center place for demons also and for the sages also. For both, this was the center place, and the demons were constantly disturbing the sacrifices. So this is very popular place in Bihar, Baksar, a very important pilgrimage of Lord Ramchandra. Let's go to our map, and from Sujayat, let me mark here Sujayat and Marchi. And I'll just show Baksar here, and then we'll again go back. Yes. So we were at Sujayat Marchi, and now we are coming to this place. There are a lot of pilgrimages in this place, in this area. This is in Bihar state, okay? And from here, Lord Ramchandra will move north to Nepal, and there will be marriage. So we are at this place. You can see here Buxar is written. Buxar is the name of the place, Buxar. All right. Now let's move back and see something interesting in Buxar. So this Buxar, this name comes from Vyaghra Sar. What is the meaning of Vyaghra? Anyone knows Vyaghra? What is Vyaghra?
Tiger.
Tiger, yes. So it is believed that many tigers used to come here to drink water. And anyway, it was a place of very dense jungle, very, very dense forest. So there is no big deal that too many tigers must have been living here. They used to come here, they used to drink water because this is on the banks of Ganga river. Now this place in Valmiki Ramayana, if you read it, there it is called Siddhashram. There are many temples in that area with the name of Siddhashram, Mahadev Mandir, and like that. Many pilgrimages are there. So as I said earlier, this was a center both for the demons and for the sages. And Vishwamitra ji was the head of all sages here. So it is believed that from here only he went to Ayodhya to bring Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman ji. Now these pilgrimages in Buxar, there is some story behind that, how these pilgrimages were discovered. So not very long time back, there was a great devotee here whose name was Srila Khaki Babaji. And one day it is said that in a dream, he got darshan of Hanumanji, and Hanumanji ordered him to do some excavation in this place of Buxar, and he will guide as to how he can recover or discover these very important pilgrimages of Lord Ramchandra Leelas in Buxar. In Buxar, there are many, many pilgrimages. So he was told by Hanumanji in dream to discover these pilgrimages. Later, we will also see Babaji's photo there. Now, in Buxar, there are many pilgrimages. The first pilgrimage that we come to, that is called Charitravan. Acha, you know that in Tadka, Subahu and Marich, who was killed first?
Tataka?
Yeah. So that's why first we are at this place that is called Charitravan. Now, why this is called Charitravan? Because Charitra means character. So one of the aspects of Lord Ramchandra's character is his bravery. So it is said that his character of his bravery was revealed here first time in this place, that is called Charitravan. In Balkanda, I have given the reference of these chapters 24 to 26. If you want, you can read. When Lord Ramchandra arrived here, he found that there is very dense jungle and all strange kind of sounds he was hearing. So he asked from Vishwamitra ji about what is this place. And Vishwamitra ji told him that now you should be very alert. Now the demons are going to start disturbing here. So first let's go to the map and find out our Charitravan in Buxar. You can see here. Where is that? Let's see here. Yeah. So this is Charitravan, and here there is a place called Ram Chabutra. In Hindi, Chabutra means a platform. So I did not find the relevance of what is this platform, a raised platform that is called Chabutra. So
Plateau.
here, yeah, plateau kind of, yeah, correct, exactly. So this is your Charitravan. Now let's see the pictures of this place. So there was very dense jungle. It's a very dense jungle place, dense forest. So you can see everywhere trees and trees, full jungle. You can't imagine what it must have been that time. We can't compare that time jungle with the today's jungle, what we see in YouTube, all those pictures. So this is the place in Charitravan at the bank of river Ganga. This is in Buxar, Bihar. And what you see at the top here, this is a idol of is Tadka. And we will see the beauty of this idol. She looks quite beautiful here. Okay. So this is not a caricature or a cartoon. This is actually in that place. this Tadka idol is installed there. So this shows the position when how she was frightened when she was killed by Lord Ramchandra. So we can take darshan of Tadka here. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So this is her beautiful face that you can see here. Tadka here. Yeah. So as we discussed earlier, Ravan's multiple assistants headed by Subahu, Marich, and there were many demons. They had terrorized this place where sacrifices were being conducted. And this deity is installed in this place because Lord Ramchandra, he had shown his bravery in this pilgrimage. Yeah, okay. So that was in Charitravan. Now we move on to a very important place about which there is detailed description in Valmiki Ramayana. This is called Vamaneshwar Mandir. So you can clearly guess Vamaneshwar should be connected with whom?
Vamana.
Vaman Dev, exactly. So Vaman Dev Leela is in detail. Vaman Dev Leela is in detail in Valmiki Ramayana. Now let's locate our route first. We were at we were at Charitravan in this place. From here we come to Vamaneshwar temple. This is the route here. We come to Vamaneshwar temple, and from here we will move on to the actual ashram of Vishwamitraji that you can see here also. So you can see all the three here. From here he must have moved. Exactly what route he took for moving here, I discussed that earlier. I cannot tell that. It's not possible. So let's zoom into Vamaneshwar temple. Yeah, so here we can see Vamaneshwar temple. Okay, so now let's come to Valmiki Ramayana, and this is chapter 29. So chapters 25, 26, all these are about killing Tadka, and Vishwamitraji, he teaches Lord Ramchandra how to invoke divine weapons and how to withdraw them. Now chapter 29 is about this place called Siddhashram, and first we come to Vamaneshwar temple.
I don't know. Listen here.
Okay.
They talk about.
Now, what is the history about this place mentioned? Let's see in Valmiki Ramayana itself. If you see chapter 29, verse number 2, it is mentioned, Vishwamitraji is telling, O great armed Ram, the excellent Lord and Master Vishnu resided here, performing extremely great austerities to attain the perfection of performing austerities and meditation for many, many years and hundreds of millennia. So, out of all the pilgrimage places of Lord Ramchandra, this is considered like extremely important. This is considered the Adi Tirtha because we can't estimate, there is no clear estimate. Very, very long time, very long time Lord Vishnu performed tapasya, meditation here. So that is given here in the Sanskrit verse. Yeah, correct. And then Vishwamitraji tells Ram, this was formerly the ashram of the great soul Vaman. It is famous as Siddhashram. For Kashyapa's son who performed great austerities attained the results of those austerities here. Now the people here, they tell that Aditi and Kashyap, they did tapasya here. Aditi did Payovrata here. And they also say that Vaman Dev also appeared here. Every year on Vaman Dwadashi, they perform very big festival. And it is said that from here only he went to the sacrificial arena, the Yajna of Bali Maharaj. So earlier in this place, there were the ashrams of many sages. Now also it is believed that there are some sages who are living and they belong to those old disciplic successions. You can see this temple here. In Hindi it is written Shri Bhavaneshwar. Actually it is Vamaneshwar, but this is how name gets changed. Now it has become Bhavaneshwar. It's the temple here. So there is a Shivling inside this temple also. This is the surrounding area of that temple. Yeah. So as I discussed, there were many sages living here. They had their own ashrams. So these are deities of some prominent sages inside here. Of course, I don't have their names exactly who is whom. So these are some other places around that area. Some of them are believed to have been the ashram spots of some prominent sages. So that was Vamaneshwar temple. Any doubt, any question till now? Any comment? Okay. So let's move ahead, and in some time we will complete this first part. Yeah, so we were at the Vamaneshwar temple, and from here we will move on to Rishi Vishwamitra's ashram. So please keep it on mute. Please mute it. Okay. So from Vamaneshwar temple, we are moving to Vishwamitra ji's ashram. This place. This is the main place for which Lord Ramchandra was on his journey. Vishwamitra ashram. This is also known as Siddhashram. Now in this area, Vishwamitra ashram, the exact ashram we have not been able to locate. There is a temple here, but nobody is able to tell exactly for sure which was the spot of the ashram here. So let's see something else also here. In chapter 29, this is verse number 18. Yeah. So from here we proceed. Here we have a temple, and this temple was built by a devotee. The name is given here Shri Narayan Das Bhakta Mali, and he built this temple on the order of Shri Khaki Babaji, who was mentioned earlier that he received darshan of Hanumanji in dream to discover the places of pilgrimage in Buxar. Okay, so here we see this is called Siddhashram in Buxar. Vishwamitra Ashram, this is Siddhashram, the place of Siddhas. I'm not sure, I did not get any name. Whose footprints are these? Lord Ramchandra or maybe Vishwamitra ji? I'm not exactly sure, so I cannot comment about it. Yeah, so here we have a deity, and now interestingly, if you look carefully on the face of the deity, what do you see?
It looks like Brahmaji.
Yeah, you can see 4 faces.
Yes.
So it looks like Brahmaji. So this is one of the most prominent places of tapasya, meditation, austerity. So it seems that even Lord Brahma had performed austerity here, possible. Now, when Khaki Babaji, he was discovering these different places here on the order of Hanumanji, the order which he received in dream, it is believed that he found the original Yajna Kunda place of Vishwamitra ji. Original Yajna Kunda. What you see here, this was the site of the original Yajna Kunda, to protect which Lord Ramchandra had arrived here. The original one, where Vishwamitra ji was performing Yajna. That is believed here. So Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman ji, they are standing as guards outside. They are protecting the sacrifice that Vishwamitra ji is conducting. And this is the temple. This is a temple there. And this temple was built by this devotee on the order of Khaki Babaji. And this is the picture of Babaji. So Aurav raised hand. Aurav, you have something to tell?
Babuji?
Huh?
Actually, the sacrifice was a 6-day sacrifice of silence.
Yeah, okay. So let's move ahead. These are pictures inside the temple, and here you can see the deities inside this temple. Ram Janki deities. All right. So now Lord Ramchandra, he was protecting this particular site, this area of sacrifice. So what he did is, using his arrow, he drew a boundary around this sacrificial arena. This boundary, it was drawn by his arrow. So the line in Sanskrit line is called rekha. Rekha is line. So these lines were drawn by his arrow, and this place came to be known as Ram Rekha. This is according to Lok Katha, according to folk tale, not mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana or Ramcharitmanas. I did not find. So it is believed he made boundary with his arrow around the ashram where the yajna was being performed, and he told that other than those who are here, nobody from outside has the power to enter this place. Nobody can cross this boundary. So that kind of security system was made by him. The boundary around Vishwamitra ji's ashram here. So this place, what you see, this is on the road. This is the entrance to the place called Ram Rekha Ghat. Ram Rekha Ghat. The ghat, this is on the bank of the river there. Okay, this is inside Ram Rekha Ghat, inside the structure. Yeah. So now here Lord killed Subahu and he threw away Marich. All those descriptions are given very nicely in Valmiki Ramayana. So you all can read according to your convenience. From here, we move on to the next temple, that is called Rameshwar Nath Mandir, where it is believed, according to folk tale, Lord Ramchandra had visited. Let's come to this Rameshwar Nath temple. From Vishwamitra Ashram. Achha, I think we did not see this Ram Rekha Ghat Mandir on the map. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so it is from here. From Vishwamitra Ashram, this is here Ram Rekha Ghat Mandir. Now this Mandir, this is a separate. Okay, so there we can find some discrepancies. How it is possible that Vishwamitra Ashram is here, Ram Rekha Ghat Mandir is there. So one or two like this slight discrepancies are possible. Okay, so anyway, from Ram Rekha Ghat Mandir, and anyway, this is a Ram Rekha Ghat. So from Ram Rekha Ghat Mandir, we can see here there is a Rameshwar Nath temple. Now, what is the relevance of this Rameshwar Nath temple? Let's see. So it is believed, according to folk tale there, that Lord Ramchandra was feeling very guilty that he had killed a woman. Although he knew she was a demoness, and Vishwamitra ji had convinced him, using with various references, that in this situation there is no harm in killing her even if she is a woman. But still he was feeling guilty, because in his dynasty nobody had killed a woman till now. First he did like this. So he was performing austerity here, repenting for having killed a woman. That is believed by the people there. This is according to Lok Katha, according to the folk tale there. This is Baba Shri Rameshwar Nath Mandir, Ram Rekha Ghat. Okay. This is the view inside the Rameshwar Nath temple, and this is the Shivalinga there, Rameshwar Nath. This is Nandi. Okay. Now from here we will come to the probably the second last of our spot. This is called Aharoli. Aharoli, this is Gautam Ashram. This is the pastime place where Lord Ramchandra, he saved Ahilya Devi, who was in the form of a stone here for many years. So she got back her old body by the touch of Lord Ramchandra's lotus feet. Now in Lord Ramchandra's route, there are two Gautam Ashram. One is what we are seeing now, and one is that we will see in the next session after crossing Sonbhadra river. And in both places Gautam Ashram is there. This Gautam Ashram, what we see now, this is having reference from Ramcharitmanas. And the next one, Gautam Ashram, that we will see later, that will have reference from Valmiki Ramayana. All right. So let's visit there. From Rameshwarnath, we are in this Devi Ahilya temple. This is Gautam Ashram, and this place is known as Aharoli. From Ahilya, it has become Aharoli. So we were at Rameshwarnath, and from here we come to Devi Ahilya temple in this place. Okay. Right. So let's we can zoom here, and we can see this. This is Devi Ahilya temple.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhu.
I have a question now.
Hmm.
Which Khan number are we in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7?
What is that? Which number? What, Prabhu?
Which Khan number is this? First, second, third, fourth, or which one?
Which Kanda?
Yes.
In Valmiki Ramayana?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, we are in the first one, Prabhu. First Bal Kanda. First Kanda.
Okay, Prabhuji.
This entire Lord Vishwamitraji's journey, this is in Bal Kanda, the first canto. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So we are in this Gautam Ashram. This is called Aharoli. It is believed that always Vedic mantras were being chanted in this place. Ahilya Devi lived here. Indra cheated here. Many things happened. And Gautam cursed Indra and Ahilya in this place. So Ahilya turned into a stone. And for thousands of years, she was waiting for Lord Ramchandra to arrive. Now, because Ahilya turned into a stone, nobody was living here. This place became completely isolated. So when Lord Ramchandra also came here, he found that nobody was living here. So he touched the stone, and then Ahilya was back. So here we see this is called Ahilya Sthal. This is Ahilya Sthal. The place is known as Aharoli. Please keep it on mute. Yeah. So this is Ahilya Devi temple, the entrance of the temple.
Are we still in Buxar district
Yes,
now?
yes. We are in Buxar, Prabhuji. Correct. We are in Buxar. Let me show you here. It is written here, Buxar.
Okay, okay.
This is in Buxar. Later we will see one more Ahilya Sthal. That will be according to Valmiki Ramayana. That will be later. So, yeah. So this is the entrance to Ahilya Devi temple. And here what you see, Ahilya Devi is praying to Lord Ramchandra because she has been saved by him. This is engraved on the wall of the temple there. Yeah. Now, there are these deities, they are not very clear whose deities are these. Seems that maybe Ahilya Devi's deity, maybe, but I do not have it. I'm not exactly sure, so I don't want to speculate. But this is very clear. This is engraved inside the temple wall. So here you can see Lord Ramchandra. Behind him there is Lakshmanji, and then there is Vishwamitraji. And in front, Ahilya Devi is praying to Lord Ramchandra. Okay. Yeah. Now we come to the last stop in this first part of the journey of Lord Ramchandra, that is Sonabhadra river. And this is clearly mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana. For this we have to go to chapter 31, verse number 21. Okay.
Prabhuji?
How yes, Prabhu?
Is the next place going to start Ayodhya Kand?
Next place means in our next session?
Yes.
No. We will be in Balkand only, Prabhu. Now we have done this first part. Our second part will also be in Balkand. Lord Ramchandra will go and he will come back. All in Balkand.
I thought there is Ayodhya Kand and then so on.
Yeah, but that will come later. All right. So later I have planned a separate course on Lord Ramchandra's Vanvas. Here in this Vishwamitra journey, we are covering 40 places. In Vanvas, we'll try to cover around 250 places. That will be a very long journey. So there we will have Ayodhya Kand and all the other Kandas. So I have started preparing that, but it will take some time. Okay. So we are in Balkand, Prabhu. From Devi Ahilya temple, we are moving to Sonabhadra river. And wait. Yes. So we were at Devi Ahilya temple here, and here we come to Sonabhadra, this journey here. Okay, Sonabhadra, and we'll see from Ramayana what is the reference here. Now here you see a word called Parev. The Parev is the name of the pilgrimage here. Okay, Parev. Now what is the derivation of the word Parev? So Parev word, it comes from the word Padav. Padav means a stoppage. In Hindi it is called Padav. So Padav has here become Parev. Okay, so we are on the bank of the Sonabhadra river. Now this reference is in Valmiki Ramayana, Balkanda, chapter 31, verse number 21. So here, Lord Ramchandra, he started moving from Siddhashram. When Lord Ramchandra was moving, some other sages were also moving with him, and even birds and deer started following him, but they had to be prevented from following him. So when they traversed a long distance, okay, we could see on the map there was a long distance. The distance was pretty long from Ahilya Devi temple to this Sonabhadra. Yeah, so it's a long distance. So in Valmiki Ramayana it is mentioned Te Gatva Duram. Duram means very long. It was a long journey to Sonabhadra. Te Gatva Duram, long journey. Having traversed a long distance, the excellent sages arrived on the banks of the river Shona. So the Shona name is mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana. Muni Varaha Shona Kule Samagatah. They arrived at Shona river. So originally the name that time was Shona. Okay, Shona. No, it was not Sona. Sona gold. It was Shona. So that Shona, now it has become Sonabhadra river. Okay, so this is about their arrival. Now there is a discussion about the history of this place, and that is your entire chapter 32. And during this discussion, Lord Vishwamitra ji tells many stories, and he even in that context he tells his story also. He talks about his dynasty also, his sister Satyavati, his elder sister. So that is in chapter 34. Okay, till chapter 34 there is lot of detailed discussion about the background of this place, Shona. What was the background, who lived here? Okay, all those things are mentioned, you can read it. Then Lord Ramchandra will cross this river, and that is in chapter 35, and this is from verse 1. So Vishwamitra and the great sages fell asleep for the rest of the night on the banks of Shona. When the night turned into early morning, Vishwamitra spoke as follows. Now this is text 2. So Vishwamitra ji tells Lord Ramchandra, O Ram, the night has turned into early morning. Dawn has begun. Get up, get up. May there be auspiciousness unto you. Prepare to depart. So Lord Ramchandra performs his early morning duties, and he sees this Shona river. Now in verse 4, Lord Ramchandra is little surprised. How we will cross? So why? So Lord Ramchandra tells, Shona of auspicious waters is shallow. It is shallow and decorated with sand. We will see in the pictures also. There is a lot of sand here. O Brahman, by which path shall we cross over this river? So Lord Ramchandra is wondering, how do we cross this river? There is a lot of sand here. It is shallow. So Vishwamitra ji says that I have already determined, I have found a path through which great sages, they traverse this river. So people here say he found a path that is called Madhyama Marga, some kind of some middle path, Madhyama Marga. Now there is a big river here. So this is the bank of that Sonabhadra river, and this is the bridge. Of course, now we go through the bridge, but that time there was no bridge. Now this is the Padav. Padav means stoppage. Now here you see what is written here, Trigana Ghat. It is believed that this is the Ghat. This Trigana Ghat is the place from where Lord Ramchandra crossed this river, and he went to Vaishali and then Mithila. That we will see in our next session. Okay, so our current session, today's session stops here. In the next session, Lord Ramchandra will cross this Ghat, this river, And then there will be further leelas there, especially in relation with Mother Sita. So this is Parev Tirtha. That Padav has become Parev now. And there is a Lord Shiva temple here. You can see it is full of sand, this place. Yes. So from here, we will move towards a very important place, that is Mithila and then Janakpur. That will be our next session, where we will witness the marriage of Lord Ramchandra and Sita Devi. So there are many beautiful temples and sites there. And after marriage, when Lord Ramchandra will come back, on the route also there will be various padav or stoppages, very important stoppages. Like we'll see the birthplace of Sita Devi, that is Sita Madhi, and many other places in relation to her. We'll see the ground where that Dhanush Yagya was conducted, where Lord Ramchandra broke the Haradhanush, the bow of Lord Shiva. So we'll see all those places. We'll see the garden where Lord Ramchandra first got darshan of Sita Devi. They saw each other, the temple there. Those things we will see in the